Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Obviously, I still don't have my trailer. Today, I want to speak to you about breaking generational patterns without blame. I want to share something a little deeper today and personal. After my mother's passing, I've been reflecting a lot, not just on her life, but on what gets passed down through families. And sometimes many of us come from parents who have loved us. I know some of you may say no, because I've met some families say no, there was no love. There has been, but you need to understand that sometimes our parents came from a different generation where maybe love and emotion was considered a weakness. I met many parents, people from my parents' generation that felt that if they showed their children love, the children would take advantage of them. It was a weakness to them. And so they did love you. Just they didn't know how to express it in a healthy way. So we come from parents who loved us in their own way, but who also carried their own wounds. Again, things that we carried are not that different from the things that, past generations carried. Divorce that wasn't legal, but happened anyways. Separations that happened anyways. Lots of abuse that wasn't called abuse. Yeah. And so they carried those things with them. And those things didn't get cleared when they married or before they had us. So they still had them. And that makes their love have limits. Not because they didn't care, but because they didn't know how to give more than they themselves received. And then here we come and we have those wounds too, that up until recently, I didn't know were the ones that created so much havoc. You need to face those. And I've been talking about those in previous chats, and you can go back and look at them on the shadow work that we need to do to clear up all of that stuff, all of those generational patterns that we carried with us from our upbringing into our children's upbringing. So in my case, and as it is with one of my other sisters, we chose to do something different. Albeit we didn't really do it consciously. Maybe she did, I don't know. I know I didn't want the same thing that I grew up with at home for my children. Not because I didn't care about my parents or I didn't love them or I didn't think they were loving. I was different and I felt different. And there were so many things. For me, the biggest thing was communication. Allowing my children to speak freely without judging them or punishing them for their ideas, but guiding them. And so both my sister and I, and we didn't even talk to each other, it just happened automatically. So one of my sisters decided we did things differently. Not perfectly, of course, But honestly, we made mistakes, a lot of them. And instead of hiding them, well, we may have hid some of them for a few years, but eventually we faced them. And of course, in doing so, we faced the consequences. We had to. Judgments, distance, misunderstandings, oh God, you name it. Just about every single negative emotion you can think of, we brought onto ourselves. But here's what I want to share with you. Breaking a generational pattern doesn't always feel like a victory in that moment. It's very lonely. It feels like standing alone. It feels like being the one who doesn't fit. It feels like being unloved, being misinterpreted. And it isn't until years later that you begin to see whether what you did actually made a difference. You see it in your children, especially your grown children. You see it when they're little and you see it when they're grown, but during that middle phase from turning into an adolescent through high school, it can be brutal. But the way you see it is in the way that they come to you freely, not out of obligation. Maybe sometimes not even with respect, but out of love. And I say out of love even when they're disrespectful, because they're able to communicate with you in a way that you were never able to communicate with your parents. They know that whatever they're feeling at the moment, they can just release. They can vent. They can say whatever's in their mind, and you're not going to hate them for it. Once they're settled, then you can have the normal conversation and give them those pearls of wisdom that only you have because you've lived it already. And that's when you really see it. In the way they feel safe with you and trust you for advice. And they trust you even with their own children. And that's real. That's when you begin to realize that it was never about being perfect. It was about being honest and being real, and about choosing honesty over an image. Who cares what the neighbor thinks? Who cares if people think we're dysfunctional for a while? Yeah. Because we all are. All families are dysfunctional in a way or not. Who cares? Who cares about that image? We choose connection over control. It's not about my way or the highway. It's not about you be what I wasn't able to be and you make my dreams come true. No, because every human being has their own dreams. It's about watching them bud, open up from that bud, and being their own person and being successful and knowing that they're happy. And you allowed that. And you know they're happy because they come back. They're not avoiding you. So our parents did what they could with what they knew, and we did or do the same. And when we become aware of, and when we realize that our children are not born into us for us to control them, but to help them find their way and become their own person, we have that opportunity to choose differently, to change those generational patterns. And that choice changes everything. And I wish for all of you, not luck, because that's not how it goes. I wish for all of you that you're able to come to that understanding and that realization. And I wish you lots of light and love. Because when you sit there and look at it, yes, I look a little sad. Yes, my mom left. But I'm not sad because she's gone. I'm sad because what I realize now, what I just shared with you, I wish she had had. I wish that all of us, especially the ones who left and stayed away, I wish that they, both my parents are gone now, have given themselves that opportunity or had somehow been able to awaken to that realization that all you need is true love. Not control, not image, not success in the way the world wants, but love wherever each and every single one of us was. And it would have been so very different. That's my wish for all of you. And I am Simera'Kai.